talk to. Let's bring in our panel of NewsNation political contributor Lauren Wright and Democratic strategist Naveen Nayak, who are also two good people to talk to about this. And Lauren, I'll kind of start with you. So can you think of something that would start this negotiation? So say if the Republicans are dug in, like Joe says, and they say, we're not talking about anything unless you just open the government. Then we'll talk about health care. Can you think of anything that changes the dynamic?
I can't. And you made a good point there to Joe about if they have time, they're both willing to, string this along as it takes. But, I do think Republicans have the upper hand because think about the message from each party. Republicans want smaller government that costs less and does less. And so for Trump and Republicans, one of their messages is, why do we have non-essential government employees in the first place? This is totally in line with what they've been saying for years. Whether you think that's a good idea or not is totally up to whoever's talking.
Right.
For Democrats, they campaign on government responsibility, more services, more care, more people. So why wouldn't you pass a clean CR and prevent what they say is a disaster?
Do you think their base, the Democrats, Naveen, or their constituents will put pressure on members of Congress if the president and his OMB director follow through on these threats to actually try to cut rather than furlough workers? They say a couple of days we're going to have layoffs, but if those are permanent, if they announce them that way, how do Democrats react? Do they dig in further? Or is there going to be pressure to open up the government and then have a conversation?
Well, listen, if this were March and we weren't sure how Donald Trump was going to treat federal workers, maybe that'd be an issue. But Donald Trump has already been trying to fire federal workers, and the only reason it stopped is the courts. And in some cases, the courts have said he can fire them, and he's gone ahead and done that. So I don't think that's going to hold a lot of water. And I think the truth of the matter is, if this month, 20 million Americans are going to get a letter in the mail telling them their health care costs are going to double in many cases. It is astounding to me that Donald Trump and Republicans do not care. Not only have they taken away health care from 17 million Americans with Medicaid, which they delayed because they knew it was so unpopular, but they did not help extend these health care tax credits. And that is going to hit Americans really hard. And every day you're going to see Americans opening up their mail and getting a $400 a month Trump premium tax hike. So I actually think the pressure, the longer this goes, is going to bear on Republicans.
Okay.
Democrats are just
I will say one thing about that, Naveen. I had Mitch Daniels on earlier about that. And, there is something to be said. I know this is like a fiscally conservative position, but there's something to be said for this idea of temporary. It always happens in Washington. So, I'm going to do this temporarily. And now when it expires, they say, well, now they're going to have increased costs. So they weren't supposed to be there anyway. And the argument, I guess, a conservative would make is that we can't afford it anyway. So what would you say to that, Naveen?
I mean, we just passed a $1 trillion, not we, Donald Trump and Republicans.
Can't afford that either,
$1 trillion tax cut.
We can't afford that either.
Forget, to the top 1% of Americans. You're going to tell me you can't afford to help keep healthcare costs down? Please tell the American people their healthcare costs are not important. And Elon Musk and the rest of Trump's friends needed a tax cut.
By the way, now you see how the problems develop because there are no true fiscal conservatives left, and that includes many of the Republicans, including Trump, by the way. And then you start digging these problems higher because everybody just wants their pet projects, the ones that they like, and you just end up spending more. I mean, that's what happens. Or you start sending memes out. So do you guys want to talk about this or not? I mean, this became a serious issue for the aforementioned Hakeem Jeffries, who just spoke to Joe. He says that now the White House is apparently running it on a loop in the press room. AI-generated meme, I guess it could be described, that the president put out on social media of Hakeem Jeffries wearing a sombrero. There it is in the press room. That Jeffries himself has said, well, this is racist. So they asked J.D. Vance about it at the briefing today, and Vance said this.
Well, I think it's funny. The president's joking, and we're having a good time. You can negotiate in good faith while also poking a little bit of fun at some of the absurdities of the Democrats' positions, and even, poking some fun at the absurdity of the Democrats themselves. I mean, I'll tell Hakeem Jeffries right now, I make this solemn promise to you that if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop.
All right, so he says it's all a joke. It led to my friend Geraldo making quite a suggestion, by the way, guys, earlier in the show. So before you respond, let me tell you what Geraldo thinks should happen. Here it is.
I think that Jeffries should respond with, they should make a meme war if that's what it's going to be. You know, you're in a sombrero, you're a big porky this, or you're a, you know, whatever it is.
Geraldo's calling for a meme war. I don't know if that's what we need in the country right now.
A
But you know,
meme
it's one of
war.
the things. I tried to explain to Geraldo, Lauren, that we were all talking about bringing the rhetoric down there. It wasn't too long ago, and now here he is saying, no. So what do you make of all of this? Joke, as the vice president said, something more serious, as Jeffries himself has said. How do you see it, Lauren?
Well, it's a bad joke if it's a joke, and it's just a terrible distraction that offends a lot of people, and that's a bad negotiating position to be in. Look, I think Democrats are being irresponsible, just like Naveen says Republicans are, by not passing the CR. But a shutdown, you know, doesn't help their goals of providing health care to Americans. And it definitely doesn't help Republicans' goals to have this kind of meme. I tend to think for Democrats, and I say this as someone who is a lifelong Republican, they need to establish a contrast with Trump. Don't try to get in the mud with him. In 2020, they won with the they go low, we go high message. We're good at governments. We're more responsible. So, you know, saying anything about this, you know, I think risks the political advantage that they have by just leaving it out there. People see what it is, and they probably don't like it.
That is an interesting point, Naveen. I don't know what your perspective is on that. When Trump does something, you know, there's this idea that you're going to go back like Gavin Newsom does at him, or, you know, you say, all right, here's my version of a quote-unquote joke, or you just ignore it and move on and try to be serious. I mean, I guess that is a consideration now in this world. What do you say, Naveen?
I mean, listen, we have a president who is candidly, we can all see it as a clown. It's absolutely a farce. You're highlighting that Jeffries doesn't have time because he's having a conversation with a reporter.
Okay,
Our president is
true.
sitting there making memes that are fake. And fine, I don't know that we have to get offended about the humor, because I kind of agree that I'm not sure why it's so funny. It's more embarrassing. This is supposed to be a great country, and we're led by a clown. And that's the part that I think, you know, that is what has been so effective about what Gavin Newsom is doing. He is replicating Trump. He's not being Gavin Newsom. He is being Donald Trump. And for other people to see what Donald Trump is like is when they realize, whoa, this is unhinged. And we have an unhinged president right now who's very unserious.
All right, Lauren, let's finish on this. Try to be serious. How long do you think this thing will drag on for this time? I know it's hard to get a sense. Like when I asked Ms. Daniels, he says, forget it. It's impossible to predict because, as you said at the start of this conversation, it's like, well, how do we get out of this? You never see it until it happens, but something usually happens. Vance said earlier he thought he was seeing some cracks in the Democrats, particularly among moderates. I mean, I don't know if that's true, but does this feel like a long or short shutdown to you, Lauren?
I have no idea, because one thing I know about Congress is what's happening behind the scenes is totally different than what they present to the public. So I hope there are those building blocks happening. But look, Trump's willing to play chicken for a long time. He showed that in 2019. And it's probably a bad person to play chicken with, because he's willing to go right up to the edge of the cliff.
And now, Naveen, you agree with that? That it could, I mean, it's just tough to predict, but when the job cuts come, you know, that'll be interesting.
I hate predicting when Donald Trump is involved, but I don't like predicting at all. But I have to agree with Lauren. Like, there is nothing here that suggests that this is getting resolved in October right now, the way I look at this. And I think the longer this goes, I think, you know, Donald Trump himself said a decade ago, the president bears responsibility for a shutdown because it is leadership at the top that has to bring parties together.
Now, fairness to they all say the opposite when they're out of power. I mean, like that was like, you know, the same thing with the debt ceiling. Like that, Obama even did that, and they all do that. But that's probably the least of it. But thank you guys, Naveen and Lauren. I guess we'll sit here talking about memes then until they solve it. All right.